Hello everyone, and welcome back to DASE, otherwise known as the Dating App Survey Experiment. This is my review of quarter 2, which spanned from January 3rd of 2024 to April 2nd of 2024. I've been doing this in total 6 months. It ended in April. So the explanation for this is that in October, I got very fed up with dating and dating apps in particular. So I decided to start this experiment where I gave everyone a survey and then decided from there if they were worth my time or not, instead of just adding like a million people on Snapchat. That means that out of 263 people that took the survey total, I met 11 of them, which is a pretty good ratio if I do say so myself. So now we will go through several different sections of the process, including the mission, the execution, the questions, and the results. And buckle up because this is some incredible data. Now I will warn you that there is a little bit of R-rated content Now I will warn you that there is just a little bit of R-rated content. Oh my god. Now, I will warn you that there is just a little bit of R-rated content because in today's dating world, we cannot avoid that. And we're all adults here, so it'll be okay. Part 1, the mission. So I started dating apps in March of 2023, and after about 6 months of that, I was so fed up. So I took a break for about a month, and then at the beginning of October, I was like, hey, let's do a fun experiment. As a STEM girly, I love experiments, I love data, and I hate swiping for so long that my phone asked me if I'm okay. So I started DASE, which is the Dating App Survey Experiment. And how I got the idea for this is I took a few different other people's ideas, including a survey that was presented to me by a different match over the summer on Hinge. Good luck to him. His was all like long answer. Mine's a little different, you'll see. And then I also took from the burned haystack dating method. You could find on Facebook or on Instagram or TikTok even. It's created by Jenny Young, so it looks a lot of like different rhetoric. That'll be a good blooper. And just basically doesn't take any crap from men, which is what I was very much into at this point, is no longer taking crap from anyone. So thank you so much, Jenny, for being really supportive of this method in the group. I posted a review of the first quarter of this experiment a little while back, and everyone seemed to love it, and also everyone loved my initial post, so that was really sweet. Thank you guys, everyone who's involved in that group, for the warm welcome. And then, like I said, STEM girly, I love experiments, I gotta do it. So the experiment was meant to go on until one of the following things happened. Either I found a partner, I hit a whole year, hence the quarterly reviews, or I was sick of dating. So you will see soon which one of those it was, because you might remember I said I ended this a little before April, and overall in April. Anyway, maybe I didn't say that. You'll have to tell me in the comments. So my general criteria was that we had to have the same politics, same values in general, religion, do we want kids, where do we want to live, etc. They had to be physically attractive. Sorry, I'm 20. I'm a little shallow, right? Like, if you watched the last video, you'll know that a type emerged of all the people I actually met. And we'll see if the same was true this time. And then I wanted a really put together profile. I like effort. I loved using dating apps. I thought they were so funny. Well, I didn't love the swiping part, but creating my profile was a lot of fun. So it's like, if you can't put in a little bio, I don't want you. And then as far as how they answered the survey, I wanted effort, complete answers, like actually read the prompts, and then proper grammar. Let's be honest, that's the biggest thing I was looking for using the survey. There were so many people I just like vetoed because they had 2 words that weren't even correct for some other answers. It was just ridiculous. And then No laziness or hostility, again, showing effort. Some people would get really mad when I first sent the survey to them, and they'd be like, no, that's so stupid, I'm not doing that, you fat, ugly. And then also willingness and enthusiastic participation. I like people to be excited. There were so many people that opened their message to me with like, hey, what's the survey? And I think that's really fun, and I think it's super cute that they actually looked at my profile and saw that I put in my bio that I had a survey. So that was exciting. I will note that the survey is not for everyone, so please don't get mad at me in the comments. This is fun. This is a funny survey for funny people, and if you don't think it's funny, then we probably wouldn't find each other funny, and you should probably just stop watching because you're gonna be really bored. The moment you've all been waiting for, the questions. Question 1, name/age, pronouns, app we matched on, numbers/socials. Now, I get not putting your numbers or social media right away, that's fine, but pronouns and name, come on, man. So the variety of answers I got there was difficult for me, and if I were to do this again, the app we matched on should definitely be like its own question, which is pick one. You don't get other choices, because this was too up for grabs, and I had 263 answers, but I also had sent the survey to more people beyond that who just never like answered or opened the message, and I also had like easily 400 matches. I can't sift through all of those and see who did it and who didn't. So I now understand what it's like to be a teacher, and I now know that I don't have the patience to be a teacher. So then, whoopsies. Question 2 was, what are you looking for? Their options were hookup, hanging out as friends, hanging out with eventual friends with benefits, dating or situationship, casual dating, serious dating, or I just wanted to see the survey, which is lame. So this quarter, we had hanging out with the eventual dating as 54.2%. Not bad. And then hookups came in next at about 20%, which honestly, overall, like I expected a lot higher. So not mad about that. But a lot of them really meant hookups. Once we, if I let them talk to me, it was very evident. First quarter, hookups were 37.4%, so considerably higher, and hanging out was 40%. And I'm not really sure why there'd be such a difference between the quarters. Maybe time of year. People prefer to hook up around Christmas. I don't know. And then overall, hookup was 30%, and hanging out with the eventual dating was 46.2%. And I just wanted to see the survey was 4.2%. That was mostly people I was already friends with. Again, I kind of mentioned this in the execution in the first video, but the majority of these people were from dating apps, but there were like a couple of friends that took it just for fun, but not enough to like mess up the data. Again, I am surprised at hookups not being a higher amount, but like I said, when I did talk to some of these hanging out people more, they did make it clear that what they really wanted was a hookup. So question 3 was for the hookups, and it said, answer all of the following. Have you been STD tested? What's your ideal pre-hookup activity or no hook activity at all? And then it also said, looks like I forgot to put it there, do you use birth control? So this question was because while I didn't want hookups at this time, I did want respect and maturity, and sex is a very important part of relationships these days. And so I needed to make sure that anyone that I would spend my time with, if they did answer this question, because you didn't have to unless you were a hookup, that they would answer it with maturity and grace and completeness and not get defensive, which a lot of people did. A lot of people were like, why are you asking me this? It's like, I never get STD tested, what's birth control, etc. Which is just kind of wild. I did have like a couple of notable, if they ever made birth control for men, I would take it, guys. You're doing it right. So yeah, this question was all over the place in its answers, but That makes it a great deciding factor. And again, it was short answer, which helps me look at grammar and sentence structures again. Like, did you just say no, or did you write a full sentence answering the question? My favorite question. Question 4. Pick one of the following and evaluate. Favorite childhood memory, biggest flex, a random paragraph in a language you know that isn't English, attempt to guess my whole life story, trauma dump about your ex, or tell me about your favorite comedian. So this question shows a lot of personality and passion and humor. So if somebody didn't answer or didn't follow the prompt somehow, that was a red flag. This was also a great opportunity to showcase grammar and sentence skills. So leaving it blank was kind of a no for me. And then favorite comedian was definitely the most chosen topic, which I love. I love funny people. And I learned about a lot of new comedians this way too, which was awesome. Most notable of which being Taylor Tomlinson. She has bipolar, like me. She's funny, like me. And she has several Netflix specials. Not like me. But I digress. So then question 5 is multiple choice, as was question 6. So question 5 was, which of the following is a deal breaker for you? The options were, I enjoy eating weird food combinations such as chocolate cake and barbecue sauce, which is true. Don't knock it till you try it. I've seen my favorite TV show over 11 times, and I'm gonna make you watch it too. A lot of people wanted to know what that was. I did not tell them. I said we'd have to date for you to find out. But I will tell you guys, it is Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the live action version from the 90s, early 2000s. Melissa Joan Hart. Love her. And then I have weird thumbs. We will pause here for a picture of my thumbs. Okay, we're back now. So the next option was other, and because I'm nice, I got to give them a chance to say something else. And then 6 was, what is your ideal first date activity? My options were as follows. Art museum in English. This is where we go to a local art museum, we complain about all the artwork, say how much better we could do it, but then we buy a postcard. And then we have Bakery Brigade, which is going to 3 different donut shops around town all at the same time and comparing the donuts. Grocery games, which is we go to the grocery store, we each pick out a couple random ingredients, and then we cook together. But spoiler alert, somebody has a couple of weird allergies, and she won't tell you what they are. So it's basically try not to kill me. It's a lot of fun game. And then Movie Madness, which is where we each pick our favorite movie, and we watch them together and talk through the whole thing. Because much like the Art Museum one, I like to complain. And then we have other. So for question 5, which is the deal breakers, for section 2, other was our biggest answer, followed by none. So we have 43.9% and 31.8%. A lot of other was strange. You'll see some of my favorite responses in a second. And then none was very common. All of the above was also common. And then some people just use that section to ask questions, such as, what are weird thumbs? I believe I got that question in all caps. I don't believe I evaluated. Sorry. This is very similar to this question in the first quarter. I forgot to separate it out here, but none was a big section of other, as was all of the above. So overall, other was 38.2% and none was 34.0%. And weird food was our leading contender as far as my actual options went, at 21% evenly. You guys are just picky eaters. Sorry. So then as far as ideal first date activity, Movie Madness went out with 49.5% in the second quarter, followed closely by other, which was a lot of people pleasing. All these are great. Like, come on, pick one. Or they gave their own suggestion, which was cool too. I like that. I believe Movie Madness was so popular because of the classic Netflix and chill. And then as far as the first quarter goes, Movie Madness was once again very popular at 52.9%, again followed closely by other, and we had a very even distribution of the other 3 choices. Overall, Movie Madness got 48.1%, Other got 26%, and my personal favorite, Art Museum in English, got 9.5%. A little sad this didn't get any higher. I would like to note, I do have many other date ideas that many of these people were potentially roped into. I don't think I actually did any of these first dates with anybody I actually met. Whoops. So we have some honorable mentions here from the other categories. So for the deal breakers question, our honorable mentions were throwing coins at elderly folk, being a major Swiftie. Fair, I'm not a Swiftie, I'm sorry. She has a couple good songs. Probably gonna get canceled for this, but it's okay, I'm not famous anyway. Ford Fusion. I believe that person knew that I do in fact drive a Ford Fusion, and I am in fact insulted by that. And then we had 3 mentions of feet, like just the word feet. Like I could cut them off, I guess. Like I didn't really get that. And then for question 6 for the dating activity, we have the suggestions of Frisbee. I'm okay with that. Play-Doh. Sure. Pretending to be rich. Love. Let's absolutely get dressed up and go to a mansion's open house and pretend we're gonna buy it. And then, of course, something involving sex. In hindsight, never give an other option when there is an activity and Tinder involved. My favorite deal breaker overall was maybe if you like threw coins at random elderly folk, IDK. Classic. And my favorite date ideal overall was actually from the first quarter, which was smash glass bottles in the woods. Sounds very stress relieving. All right, questions 7 and 8. These were short answer questions. I gave a specific word count and asked a simple question, which of course was failed by many, but we'll discuss the answers anyway. So question 7 was, in 12 words or less, why did you like me? Most of these involve physical attraction. Fair, it's a dating app. We swipe for the pictures. And also, yes, I am very beautiful. Thank you. A lot of people said weird. Yeah. Cats. I have 2 kittens. I will insert a picture here. They're adorable, and they were, of course, in my bio, in one of my pictures, on every app. Survey. Obviously, who doesn't want to take a survey on a dating app? Breaks up the week. Cheeseburger. There was a period of time where I had a picture of a cheeseburger, just as one of my pictures instead of a picture of me, and apparently people like that. And then, of course, there were 6 mentions of my breasts, because saying I'm like hot or something isn't enough. We have to get specific. And then most of those were not 12 words or less. Some people wrote like a whole sentence. Some people wrote like no or left it blank. And I was like, okay, so I'm not going out with you. But I digress. And then question 8, we have in 2 sentences, tell me why I should go out with you. Again, that limit was hard for a lot of people. We often got 1 sentence or no or blank or like a paragraph. So a lot of these answers were I'm funny, which of course you're taking the survey. You were obviously funny. You shouldn't. Okay. Thank you for warning me. I won't. One of my favorite quotes was, I get compared to Randall from Monsters, Inc. Maybe we'll insert a picture of that too. And then, I'm a dreamy clown musician and I have a shirt that says, Hooters remembers 9/11. That was tempting. I believe we added each other on Instagram and nothing else happened. And then once again, 9 mentions of sex in some way or another. And I will let you fill in those blanks. Okay, question 9 is my second favorite question. This is, what is your job/school? What do you do/study? And what do you like about it? So again, we're looking for passion, we're looking for drive, and we're looking for positivity. You don't like what you're doing right now? How are you going to fix it? Can you see the good in it? we'll see. So I got a lot of history and psych and STEM majors, but also a lot of like artsy music people, even if it wasn't necessarily like their major. I am in college, I'm 20, so most people were putting like, what do they study? But again, even if it wasn't necessarily their major, a lot of people would mention, oh, I love doing music on the side. Like some people put like their hobbies in here, which was kind of cool. A really cool answer was a gravedigger. Was not expecting that. I kind of forgot that was a job that actually like happened in modern times. Like I think a gravedigger and I think of Frankenstein. So that was a cool refresh to my memory and a little change. And there was also a surprisingly large amount of people with landscaping jobs, which I didn't see in the last quarter. You might remember if you saw that video in the last quarter, we saw a lot of mechanics. So I'm thinking maybe because then it was cold, mechanics were more needed, and now that it's spring, landscaping is more important. So perhaps that's why. Question 10 is third favorite. This is comments, questions, or recipes. So there were a lot of recipes this time, but also some people like specifically said, I will not give you a recipe because of the allergies. And I was like, okay, so you don't want some adventure and a trip to the ER? Lame. Some notable comments here were, please let me have the honor of seeing you naked. No. How often do you floss? Daily. Much like the first quarter, I had another, will you marry me? And then of course there were a lot of comments about like the survey and or boobs. Some of my favorite answers to this question, beyond the recipes and the strange ones, include people who like developed more on what they were looking for in a relationship. I actually went out with 2 of those people because they put like a lot more effort into it, and they were like, hey, like I'm not totally sure what I want right now, but I really want a connection and I really want to like be honest with you and work at forming something and just see if we vibe. And I am so respectful of that, especially with some of the other answers we get. So that was exciting to see people put actual thought into their comments. And then our final question, question 11, was, do you vape? And in parentheses, not necessarily against it, just allergic. I am kind of against nicotine. I don't like it. I don't like being around it. But once again, we had 49.5% no, and most of our others at 31.8% were people saying that they were in the process of quitting. So very proud of them. This was again for the second quarter. As far as the first quarter goes, we had a solid 63% of no's, love it. And then overall we had 54.7% no, which is beautiful. Proud of you guys. Vaping is bad for you. The results. All right, so in quarter 2, January through April, I had 107 answers to the survey. A couple of these were friends or from sources beyond dating apps. In particular, there was one person that I had like got out with a while ago before the survey, and I had them take it. So out of all the response over the second 3 months, I met 6 people. You might remember that I met 5 in the first quarter. So to kind of explain like how I kept track of all this data was I had a spreadsheet. If you use Google Forms, you can automatically create a spreadsheet with your data. So as they come in, I could like look at the spreadsheet and then I would color code it. So anything in red was instant no, people who didn't put effort in, people who did like hookups, and then people who were blocked after like maybe talking for a little bit. Yellow was someone who I would add on like Snap or Instagram or something, but then we didn't go further than that. Green was for dates that went well, pink for friends, gray for outside sources, and purple for meaningful interactions. So before the survey happened, overall, I had 1 awesome date, I dated 1 person for about a month, had 1 situationship, and several just bad interactions. After the first quarter, I had all of that, plus interactions with 5 people, one of which was very negative. 2 of them were not great, but fine, and 2 of them were good. And then after this quarter, I had all of the aforementioned, obviously. And then I had 3 okay interactions, 1 indifferent interaction, 1 good interaction, and 1 incredible interaction. What could I be alluding to? You'll find out. So person 1 was from Tinder, went to college an hour away from me, 19, didn't know it was a freshman until after we met, which is fine, I'm a sophomore, I'm 20, but like, freshman. He was 6'6", a STEM major who also did theater and bands. Again, a common thing with me is the people over 6 feet who are artsy but also STEMmy at the same time. He said hanging out, and meant it. We did hang out a couple times, had fun. They were absolutely so kind as to drive the whole hour to me, even though I offered to meet in the middle or go there. And we did have fun together. We have common like environmental goals, career goals, so we could be like good contacts in the future. And every now and then we just say, hey, like we both like one of these same artists that's kind of local, so we're like, oh, this is cool, new song, how's school, etc. And this person gets the award for tallest person I have ever kissed. Congratulations. All right, person 2 was from Tinder again, 23, 5'10", also said hanging out. We had one date where we met in the middle. They also lived about an hour away, but we met Charlotte the pregnant stingray, which you might have heard about on TikTok or Instagram or something. This happened back in like February, and she is still pregnant. If you want to Google that and some scientist that knows anything about spontaneous stingray bursts explain why in the comments, that would be great. Little worried about her. I did get a cool pin from it. I don't know where it is because I packed up my dorm and moved back home. But it was, for a Tinder date, really fun activity. And he gets the award for being willing to participate in one of the weirdest date concepts I have ever had. We also went to a general store after, and I got candy. You know those orange slice things? Delicious. So as far as the actual like person goes, we weren't compatible at all. Like it was fine, but it wasn't anything interesting. But the stingray thing was really cool. So person 3 was from Bumble, 21, probably like 5'11", not actually 6 foot. I will say the other guy 5'10" too. I don't mean for my favorites to be taller than that, but it happens. So this guy's 5'11", said casual dating, goes to my school. We went to Barnes & Noble for a little bit. I actually kind of put off the date a lot because I just kept being too busy. We talked okay, but there wasn't a vibe. It was like friendly at best. I felt kind of bad about that, but gets the award for willingly spending a couple hours at the bookstore with me, but not getting a single kiss in return. Sorry. I mean, I don't owe anybody anything. Nobody ever owes anybody anything. But it was probably pretty boring for them. They were nice though. We didn't vibe. So question 4, Tinder, 22, mustache, 6 foot, I think. This is one of my little outliers because we did actually date for like a month in August before the survey. And then in January we started kind of being friends again. And I was like, you know, you need to take the survey if we're going to go any further. And he actually said that he probably wouldn't have taken it when we originally met. And I was like, yeah, that's a sign. But also, my instincts were right. We were just only meant to be friends. I feel bad because I did break it off twice and he goes to my school, but he was very, very nice about it. And he gets an award for putting me onto some great local grocery stores. A couple really cool, like, international food markets. Got some good stuff there. Definitely spent too much. So again, like, fun as friends. Like, we both like cooking and stuff, but we didn't vibe like that. Person 5 was from Tinder, 26-3, and lived like 2 hours away. So this person actually took the survey in December, but we didn't meet until March, so technically doesn't count in this group of people, but also does count because it's a survey taker. So we had fun when we were texting and like playing iMessage games, and we had a decent time in person. Very nice of them to drive to me again, hang out a little bit. But there were a few details that I should have made sure to clarify. Something that the Brand Haystack dating method talks about is like making sure your values align, and that's big for me too. And it seemed like they did over text, but there were a couple things that didn't come up until he got the reward for being one of the only people I've ever met who genuinely believes evolution isn't real and is also possibly a flat earther. I almost made him turn around and go home when I found that out, but I stuck it out because I felt bad. But, and then he was shocked when I didn't want to, like, talk to him anymore. Everyone can have their beliefs, but personally, I believe in evolution and around Earth. So that was shocking to me, honestly, when I heard that. And alright, moving on. So person 6, we have a lot going on here. So this person actually took the survey twice. We matched and he took the survey in October, and that was about like 3 weeks into the survey, but I had already had something going on and I was busy, and he'd also set a hookup, and I was like, I don't really want to hook up. And I was still in my all over the place phase, but I thought he was really cute and I really liked his answers and everything. So he's 22 now, 6 foot, has a mustache. If you saw the last video, you know the mustache thing. Very pretty, has curly hair, goes to my school, actually just graduated, so technically doesn't go to my school anymore, in a music major, which is super fun. And he's such a great sport for taking the survey twice, even though we had each other on Instagram already. And his answer did change, which is why my answer changed as well. And he also called everything we did an actual date, right off the bat. He was like, yeah, this is a date. And I did say we had each other on Instagram from the first time he took the survey. And I'd actually been considering reaching out and being like, hey, remember me? So I'm so glad that we matched again. And he once again initiated the conversation by asking about the survey, and asking if he could take it, which is, yay, we know I love that because it's funny and I want a funny guy. So he has incredible communication skills. Right off the bat was super honest with me, talking about our feelings and everything, super mature, very kind and smart. Our senses of humor, we are compatible. We have super great similar values, future goals, where we want to live, what we want to do. He cares a lot about the environment, which is incredible. We both want kids. It's great, right? So the 6-month mark of this experiment was supposed to be April 2nd, but he took the survey for the second time right at the end of March, and we had our first date on the Tuesday before Easter, and then had 3 more that week. So we became exclusive right after that third date, the day before Easter. And so that was the end of the survey. He was actually the last person to take the survey. And he gets the award for being a super emotionally intelligent person who is so important and special in my life. And at the time when I made this presentation, it does say fingers crossed right here. We had just started being exclusive, but he's my boyfriend. We dated for about a month before he officially asked me. I will not be including the picture, just out of privacy reasons, but maybe sometime, in the Facebook group at least. But this is a picture of the pizza we got the day he asked me to be his girlfriend. So I'm actually in this place right now, and it's just been super great. I'm so happy that this worked and that I really stuck this out and found somebody. So yay. So again, my overall results page, I learned a lot about what I wanted for my future and what I wanted to see, both in myself entering a relationship and in a life partner. And I'm definitely 100% ready to be doing this long-term relationship thing again. And I'm so happy to be able to say that I did delete the apps and in the survey, after under 6 months, which is great. For a while there, it was rough. It was feeling like this was taking too long. But it was a really fun and different experience, and I really hope everyone who took it thought the same. My boyfriend really liked it, and he thinks it's silly. He knows I'm making this video right now while he's at work, and I hope he doesn't ask to watch it because I'm gushing way too much. But it's just so exciting, right? Because dating is both a numbers game, but also who has your values game, and it is so hard to find people who are going to be honest and upfront about their values, especially on these apps. So I'm looking forward to finally putting my emotional and physical energy into a relationship and cultivating that and creating this amazing future with this person, instead of, you know, staring at survey data every night for weeks on end. It's been a time of it, okay? So yeah, I just want to thank everyone so much for coming along on this journey. I did use Slides Carnival. Thank you so much, Jenny, for being so supportive, and everyone else in the Facebook group for the burned haystack dating method, because that's probably mostly who's going to see this video. I've had so much fun with this, and I've had so much fun with everyone following along. And yeah, I am just so happy to say that I found a boyfriend, and he's awesome, and I really, really like him. So if anyone else has used the survey, or is planning to, let me know what happens with that and what kind of questions you do, because I'm so interested to see like what other questions people might come up with and how you can make it work for you. I think it's a super exciting, different thing to do, and I would love to hear about it. So thanks, everybody.